The second rule that we're going to go over here is called the power rule. And this just states that if we have the derivative d dx, and we take the derivative of a function, say x raised to the n, this is just going to be equal to that number n times x raised to the n minus 1. So let's take a look at what that might look like. Let's say that we have a function f of x is equal to x squared. F prime of x is going to be equal to 2 times x raised to the 2 minus 1, or f prime of x is equal to 2 times x. Let's go ahead and look at another example. Let's say we have f of x is equal to x raised to the 5th. F prime of x is going to be 5 times x raised to the 5 minus 1, or f prime of x is equal to 5x raised to the 4th. Let's look at another example. Let's say that we're given that f of x is equal to x raised to the 3/4 power. F prime of x is going to be equal to 3/4 times x raised to the 3/4 minus 1, or f prime of x is equal to 3/4 times x raised to the negative 1/4. Now I'll just go ahead and box my answers here so we can kind of see what pattern is emerging here. Let's try a different one. Let's say f of x is equal to 1 over x. Well, we can rewrite this 1 over x term. This is equal to x raised to the negative 1. And so f prime of x would be equal to negative 1 times x raised to the negative 1 minus 1, or f prime of x is equal to negative x to the negative 2. Let's look at another example. I'm going to scroll down here for a second. Let's say that f of x is equal to the cube root of x. Well, we can rewrite the cube root as x raised to the 1/3 power. And so f prime of x is going to be 1 over 3 times x raised to the 1 over 3 minus 1, or f prime of x here is equal to 1/3 times x to the negative 2/3. And so let's just do one more example just to bring everything home. I'm going to scroll down here because this might be a little bit bigger, but f prime of x is equal to 1 over the 5th root of x to the 6th. Well, let's unpack this. We can rewrite this part as x raised to the 6 over 5. So I'll go ahead and do that. F of x is equal to 1 over x raised to the 6 over 5. And we can rewrite this expression as x raised to the negative 6 over 5. And so we would say that f of x is equal to x raised to the negative 6 over 5. Therefore, f prime of x is going to be negative 6 over 5 x raised to the negative 6 over 5 minus 1. Or in other words, f prime of x is equal to negative 6 over 5 times x raised to the negative 11 over 5. And that would be our answer. So hopefully you guys are starting to see a little bit of a pattern for how to use the power rule.